Hello, it's been a while since I have done any videos, I know, but I still do play games, several different games. Some games have lost interest with me. I've either gotten tired of them or gotten to a certain level, it has got old or something. A game that has not gotten old to me that I've been playing for a while is called Zero AD. It is a real-time strategy game. That genre never really caught on. It was never big popular. I'm not sure why. I always enjoyed them, much like my Axis and Allies games. But in this, it is based obviously in ancient times, 0 AD. You have many different factions, 14 I believe. You have Spartans, Romans, Macedonians, Han, Gauls, Britons, Carthage. However, the Persians are growing in popularity with me. What is really cool with this game is every faction is geared for a certain strategy and play style. Romans are very much a close-in brawling team. They want to close. They're just a buzzsaw, just tearing through forces. However, each faction also has versatility built into it. When I was playing the Romans in a campaign, my own play style is more range, and I actually turned the Romans into a range army. They weren't as efficient, they weren't as good, but I won the scenario. So every faction has that versatility built into it. Spartans are really good at fighting cavalry. Doesn't mean you can't use cavalry against them, but you're going to suffer very high casualties and probably not fare well, and if you have somebody who knows how to use them, they will dominate, unless you do something to counter that. Another, for example, the Han, which is the Chinese faction, they start weak and get stronger later in game. And if you really know how to administer and run that team well, get the most out of it, they're very powerful. So everyone has just different styles of play. And it's a pretty cool game. Love to get more people involved. It is free to play. It's open source. There is online play as well as LAN. You can play against a computer player. I have not found a benefit to having a computer player as a teammate. They just sit there and ask for resources and don't seem to do much. I've just not been able to, maybe there's some commands or something you can do with them to get them work better, different configurations, but I never found them to be useful. As always with real-time strategy games, you're building your base, so there's an element of like Civilization or SimCity where you're building up your resources, mining, gathering resources, things like that to get going, to then be able to develop the techs, upgrades, different types of troops, etc. And everyone is themed after their supposed faction. You know, the Macedonians. The style of armor, equipment, buildings, all of that is very much in that style. So if you play Athens or the Britons or all this stuff, now it may not be 100% perfect if you want to nitpick on something, but it's a pretty cool aspect. Last time I checked, I believe it's 14 different factions. I thought when I first started playing this there was 16, but then they added the Han, and I guess they dropped some factions, or I may have miscounted. You know, mistakes happen. I may have seen something else that made me think there were 16, but I think there's 14 in the game now. Numerous different maps. You can play versus in teams, versus computer player, online, etc. So as I said, just a cool game. Want to get some information out there about it, see if anyone else wants to play. Not necessarily with me, but you play the game, you know, online or wherever. Oh, another cool aspect of the game, it runs on Linux. So it's free to play, download. I know it runs on Windows and Linux if you're interested.